The New York State Office of Addiction Services and Supports, or OASAS, provides this podcast as a public service. Opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the agency or state. This is Addiction, the Next Step.
Jerry Gretzinger here, your host for Addiction, the Next Step. We are coming to you, as we always are, from the New York State Offices of Addiction Services and Supports. Today, we're going to introduce you a little bit to an organization that's been working with OASAS very closely and is also doing a lot to help get scholarship funds out there to people who want to go into the addiction field. We talk so much about supporting the workforce, and this is such a critical piece of that. So I'm joined by Nathan Rauscher. He's the Training Institute Director for Helio Health. Nathan, thanks for sitting down with us.
I appreciate you having me.
Let's start with Helio Health. Give people a quick overview of what the organization is, what it does.
Helio Health has been around since 1920. Started off with being a halfway house in his transition over the 100 years now to support individuals throughout the entire continuum of services. So we have different withdrawal and stabilization services, residential, 820 services, outpatient, pretty much everything, inpatient services throughout New York State. We're primarily in Syracuse, but we have different services in Gloversville, Utica, Binghamton, and Rochester as well.
And I know we see the Helio name quite often, doing a lot of good work, which is, like I said, it's such a great partnership with OASAS because we want to support the kind of work that Helio is doing. So we thank you for that. And the continuation in this episode, at least the conversation going into scholarship funds.
Yes.
We know there's been a crisis in the addiction workforce, and we want to continue to build that up and make sure that it's got a future, and we're having people who have the skills to go forward with this important work. And Helio has been one of our partners. We've actually done a few different episodes on the people such as Helio who are coming together to help get those funds out, because it's not something one agency or person can do alone. So let me ask you this. We chatted a bit before we started our episode here about one of the issues you'd seen historically with people who wanted to go into the addiction workforce, and you said one of the major hurdles was
just the funding aspect of it, paying for the actual course.
Yeah.
We've received emails and voicemails for years saying, I'm really interested in becoming a KSAC, or I'm really interested in becoming a certified peer, but I don't have the funds to pay for the course. And over the years, we've never had scholarship money available or any way of getting someone into it. And this has definitely helped get people who have, necessarily never had the opportunity, or probably never would have gotten the opportunity to get into this field, have the opportunity to do so now.
Yeah. So, when you've gotten the outreach from people who may have eventually, said, well, my one holdup is the finances, who are these people? Like, where are they coming from? Are they people with lived experience? Are they people who've had family members, or people in the medical community who just want to be able to, add this to their skill set?
It's it's across the board. We've had individuals who have been in, maybe in the really entry-level positions in the medical field, who it's, not necessarily minimum wage, but pretty close to it, who don't have the extra income to be able to support going back to school at this time. And not being an accredited college or university, we can't get financial aid. So that's been a barrier as well. We can't offer that to individuals. We've had other people who have lived experience themselves, or who've had lived experience with family members, loved ones who've experienced substance use in the past, really wanting to now give back and being able to share their story, and again, not being able to do so.
Yeah.
And I think that's, again, it's been, I think over the last 2 years, year and a half or so since we've been able to offer this, we have, I think, over 70 people at this point currently in courses that are accessing this funding. So it's really been helpful and supportive for individuals who wanted to do this.
Yeah. And so, Tim, what is traditionally the cost to participate in this coursework?
It's around, it depends on the course. The KSAC course in full is just under $6,000. It's a 14-month course for the 350 hours. For SERPA, it's about $850 because it's a 50-hour course.
Yeah. And so, as we said, people who are coming into this, maybe it's people who are, making just barely above minimum. Some people may be like, oh, when you're talking about continuing education, these numbers don't sound that high, but it can be the difference of I can do it or I can't do it. And it just comes to that point. If people are hearing this, and I know it's like, the scholarship funds become available like, annually, and we see how much is available, but I would imagine people hear this and go, wow, this is terrific, because again, as we've said, so many people, the financial part of it is what is the barrier. What do they need to do? I mean, I know sometimes I ask this question, they say, well, the first thing they need to do is just have the passion to do it, right?
Yeah.
But if they want to be able to access the scholarships and apply for that, what do they do?
Sure. There's two different things they can do. All of our information is right on our website. It's www.helio.health. But if they want to reach out to us directly, they can email us at training@helio.health.
Okay.
And we can provide all the information that way as well. We'll send applications or links to the material and start the conversation, start that process of potentially accessing the funds and getting signed up for one of the courses.
And how does it work once that's been approved and the courses start? Are these, in-person classes? Are there like remote options? How does that go forward?
Little of both.
Okay.
So most of our services are out of Syracuse. So we do have one in-person course that happens 2 nights a week in Syracuse. All of our evening courses are basically 5 to 8 or 5:30 to 8:30. So we try to make it a little bit manageable for individuals who may be working full-time, maybe working up until 4:30, and be able to access a course. So we have one that's in person in Syracuse, and we have 6 offerings that are completely virtual. So it's all through Zoom. It's the same thing as being an in-person class. There's an instructor. They're doing a PowerPoint or presentation. They're live. The students are all live, so they can ask questions, do breakout sessions. We try to make it we try to mimic in live course, an in-person course as best we can.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps for individuals, not just outside of the Syracuse area, because we do have some in Syracuse that prefer it that way, but it's open to pretty much anyone throughout the state.
That was going to be my next question. Do you want the people in the areas where Helio operates, or is it just open?
It's open to anyone, open to the public throughout New York State. So anyone who wants to apply can definitely apply.
All right. And I guess I would say too, as we always wait every year to see what kind of funds are available. If somebody has an interest, don't hesitate. We know this is out there and an option right now. So, jump at it.
We go right in order of applications. So who first come, first serve, we go right down the list, and who gets us all the information first we're able to offer them a seat.
When do the courses start?
It's recurring. So
Okay.
I think I was looking at the schedule yesterday. I think we have at least one class starting every month up till April.
Oh, okay.
And I think we're not doing a new one in April and started right up in May. So of all 6 of the virtual and the one in-person class, open enrollment is pretty consistent.
And let's say somebody, reaches out 1 month, how far from then might they conceivably be starting? Like a month later, weeks later?
It could be a couple weeks later. It could be the next week. It depends on if, there's definitely, there's some required material that they have to submit for the grant itself.
Yeah.
But if they're able to get everything in, we'll slot them in the next, seat we have available and when they're available.
All right. That's great. So in other words, don't hesitate. Get moving right
absolutely.
now.
Do it now.
You have the passion. You have the interest. It can happen. Absolutely. Nathan, thanks so much for sitting down with us. We appreciate it. I know you gave out the information for Helio. I also wanted to share the information for OASAS. If you want to learn more about services, supports, and certainly scholarship information, we have it on there as well. It's oasas.ny.gov. And always, if you're looking for any type of assistance or someone to talk to, 8778-HOPE-NY. That's our Hope line. Again, Nathan, thank you so much. And thank you for checking out this episode of Addiction the Next Step. I'm your host, Jerry Gretzinger. Until next time, be well.